Hello there, and welcome to episode 2 of the City Skylines Vanilla-ish European City Beginner's Guide. So last episode, this is what we built so far. First episode ever with some live commentary. That was for sure interesting to me. We unlocked the so-called Worthy Village and some new services, which we're going to be adding to our city soon. And oh yeah, now that you see the radio there, I switch on over to the Mars radio. I just quickly muted it for the adverts that play in the in-game radio. But absolutely awesome radio station that has been suggested to me by Teddy Ratko. Link in the description below as well to his channel. Now, as I said, it's taking some getting used to playing vanilla again, but I feel like it has its merits. There's definitely less finicky stuff, I feel like, that you have to deal with compared to highly modded playthroughs. One thing that I wanted to highlight a bit more compared to last episode, because as you can see, we're in the plus here, we're getting money. Very, very important in the beginning. Go easy on the services. You have very little population. You don't need many services, and make sure to go lower with the budget if you have specifically in the beginning enough electricity and water, and then later on we can adjust it a bit. That is the first hint. Second hint, as soon as you unlock taxes, crank them up to 11%. That is the maximum everyone will be okay with before moving out. So just these two monetary tips. Now let's fire up the music again. And the first two buildings that we did unlock are police and fire station. Now here's an interesting thing that I want to showcase a bit. First of all, a fire station is very, very important, but fire stations as we know them only came to be in the late 18 somethings, as far as I know, or like the early 19 somethings. That means by this time this medieval core would have already been like super densely built up. So what I like to do is put the fire station close to a main road and close to, of course, the main population center, but not like in the old town, because you know these like modern type stations are quite large. And I feel like, you know, they would have for sure been built outside of the medieval city center. You know what? Let's just dump it like halfway across here. Can then do something to support the river as well. And we unlocked a police station, as far as I know. Right, we did. You know what? Honestly, it doesn't matter where that one is located. Let's just put it next to our main square. Maybe this is like, you know, the city has a historical old town. It's quaint looking, so maybe there's plenty of tourists. And then older buildings would have been converted to police stations nowadays at the tourist hotspots, which I feel like could make sense in this case. So let's just see if we can put it like very close to the main square that we're going to build. Just somewhere here, I guess. And that's basically it for services. Another thing that we did unlock is policies or city ordinances. These are awesome if your city grows larger, and I definitely want to add some of them later on, but so far these would just cost us a little too much money, you know? So in the beginning of the episode I had like 40,000 simoleons. Now I only have 20,000 because I did put the police station and the fire station. But oh, we need water. What I was about to say is our city now should have enough services, and let's just continue to actually grow the city because we need more population. We're going to use the different zoning tool and do some interesting shapes here. Again, we don't want to go with the large 4x4s, because that is definitely something that would come later on in history. I think it's okay to put buildings like right next to the ring road and have like a light industry area here, even though in game there's no distinction between light and heavy industry, but you know, I think it could be worse concerning pollution. Yeah, so inside, I guess we can still go for it. Now, let me see. It would be kinda neat to have a somewhat larger block here that maybe was smaller previously. We haven't unlocked paths yet. So I can basically showcase this being like an alleyway instead of a large road. You know, the two tile-wide roads are too large for old towns anyways, but that's what we have in vanilla. Okay, let me see, like, how do I make this interesting shape-wise? Could we put like a curved diagonal here, a small thing like so? I'm just trying to come up with random shapes. And it's okay to have it like slightly gridded as well. That is definitely something that has been used for millennia, like building in grids. So, no, that's not the issue at all. The issue is I don't want to have these four-way intersections everywhere. It's okay to actually go a little lower here. Ooh, these are narrow. I kind of like that. That's going to be a hassle to zone, but it might be worth it. Now, does it have electricity? Oh, we have the connection right here. Perfect. That means we don't need anything right here. So let's just go and fill this up. I am using the realistic population mod, and what that means is that we have way too little people in here to get to 7,000 to unlock the high density. And the high density unlock, at least to me, is kind of important because that is what unlocks district styles, so we can build something a little more realistic, you know? And I'm annoyed at the same time at how inefficient single family zoning or this type of what's it called, low density residential zoning is, because every house is just like one or two households, and imagine getting 7,000 people in our city with just that. It's going to be super tough for sure. All right, we're getting there. Once this is all filled up with our initial zones, oh, we need water. Once this is all filled up with our initial zones, what we need to do is fill in the rest. Like these small little 4x1 or 1x2, like the tiny in-between things, basically. And, you know, make this a little denser, because hopefully we're a little lucky in that regard in getting some more people in here, even though this single family zoning is like super inefficient. But basically we're like redensifying. I don't know the exact like English word. Like we're trying to get density in after the fact, basically. Like after our initial zoning, we're filling in the gaps and trying to get it even denser. Let's do simulation speed 3 in hopes of there actually being some growth, because our RCI meter is pretty stunted, the growth. Neither commercial, industrial, nor residential demand is significantly high. So we're just going to have to wait it out, because we haven't unlocked parks. We have all the services in place. Basically, there's nothing we can do to force growth at this point. At least not to my mind. Ooh, we do have unique buildings unlocked. I think I did download like a church building, so maybe we can get that one. Or is that like a park and plaza instead of a unique building? I think it might be. That's why we can't build anything yet akin to like a village church. Statue of shopping. Once we pedestrianize this and do something akin to a UK high street or German Fußgängerzone, or just like a pedestrian only, sorry, like a pedestrian only shopping street, I guess we can do some cool plazas and that kind of stuff. It's going to be interesting. Okay, we still have some growth happening. Yeah, let's go a little bigger on the industry here, because that seems to be somewhat of a higher demand. And we don't want to align everything flush to the roads, basically. So what we want to do, for example, in this case, is set the industry towards this road and not have everything connect to our... that's interesting. Yeah, I guess this will rezone. Yeah, there we go. Have a little development right here. And what that means is we have a little bit more access towards the back road here and less traffic on the throughfare. We want to separate local from through traffic, and we can do that by, you know, adding more roads like so. I like this gridded big industrial layout here. Maybe... dang it. Yeah, I didn't want to connect that road. What I wanted to do was create something like this. I'm not going to zone the outsides, but this will look really, really dense, like a big industrial lot right here. Yet at the same time, it's distinct from the rest. And we don't need to connect every road up. This is also maybe an interesting hint right here. Don't connect every road. And I keep the simulation running because we're still making money, as you can see, even with all our services. And our population is still growing as well. But growth is slow, and I don't want this video to be tedious for you guys, you know? Oh, that is bad. Maybe that's why we have the issue? Let me see, what is land value like, or happiness? Because that should, in theory, allow for a bit more growth now with Firehouse. Oh, that is interesting. We haven't unlocked land value yet. Huh. See, there's something new you learn every day when playing vanilla. Alright, we're still making money, but growth is a little slow. Let's see if we can improve upon our services and maybe... we need some electricity. And maybe optimize a bit more of what they actually do and get some more growth in here. So let's fix this for now. Again, we're going to put the roads, the pipes where they belong, below the roads. Water is still good. We could basically double our population and we'd still be good. Garbage, we're totally fine. Education, elementary school, that is nearly at capacity. Let's see if we can actually increase our funding there. And I was just checking, that should significantly boost desirability. So let's see, that's going to cost us a lot. But as far as I'm aware, we still have the budget for it. There we go. Perfect. Citizen happiness, it's okay-ish. What do they need? Why are they not happy? I guess it's because of education and like overall services. We don't have a park or anything like that. Health. Oh, dude, this is perfect with the clinic right there. Death care. Wait, did we unlock a cemetery and I forgot? No, we didn't yet. Okay. Weird that I can still like click on it even though we haven't unlocked the building. But yeah, that will also come in the future. So everything right here is green. That means they're all supplied. We don't have any traffic issues because it's a quaint little small town. Pollution is located to this area right here, which I'm also totally fine with. Noise pollution. See, the advantage of spreading out commercial is that people don't have to drive that far, and also noise complaints are a little lower compared to a big commercial strip where everything's located there. Noise is really going crazy. I do want to increase our fire resilience with a policy, and we kind of have the money for it. Let's go with smoke detectors because it's just realistic. Like apartment buildings and single family houses, at least in most European cities, are mandated to have fire detectors. So let's see if this fixed anything. What is it supposedly doing? It significantly reduces the risk of fire at the cost of higher building upkeep. Instead of plus 2,000, we're now making plus 1,000. Oh, this might put us in the red. I might have to cancel this policy. Yikes. But we still have a growing population. You know what? Let's see if we can actually fill some of these areas with a few smaller lots. See, there's some space here for 2x2, 1x2, oh, 1x3. See, and the advantage is we now have configurations like these with multiple houses close to each other instead of this being just one large lot. And I kind of like that visually, especially if we go for a historic European style. Alrighty, there we go. Finally some new unlocks. We unlocked park areas and regular parks. We unlocked industrial areas, which might get interesting. I haven't played with the Industries DLC yet, and once we have some larger demand as well as some larger space to deal with, I could imagine some stuff going on there. We have new policies for parks specifically and events. We have unique buildings. Oh wow, these are quite a lot of policies. Yeah, if our growth should stay stunted or a little slow, there's definitely something we can do. Now, there were comments about the wish for canals in my city. They're a little finicky to deal with, and not all European cities, besides like famously Dutch cities, and maybe some larger ones like Hamburg, have canals. I don't think this city is going to grow large enough to warrant canals and 16th, 17th century fortifications. So I'm going to keep it as is. We finally unlock parks. Now, here's something that I want to do with them, and I'm going to show you. We unlocked high schools as well, which is cool. Right, so let's go through it. First of all, we're going to pause. Industry and like park functionality or just recreational aspects often clash at the riverside, because on one hand you need access to the river for your industry, on the other hand rivers are just fucking nice, right? People just love sitting at a riverfront and enjoying it. So we already have industry right here that kind of blocks the river access. So I was thinking of instead focusing our riverfront recreational activities on this side a bit, and maybe here on the left, because I mean we have the rail line going and some highway access here or national road access. So I think this will be a bit more industrial. So the first thing we're going to do, because it will bump up our land value as well and like get people into the city, is I want to put a large park somewhere here. And the reason for that is pretty simple. Now, again, imagine this is going to be the medieval city. It's going to be fortified. That's where the ring road is, where there was initially a city fortification. And there's no way to really put any green space here if this is densely built up. But at some point in time, the fortifications became obsolete, and you would often have instead fortifications with cannons and that kind of stuff, and they would need a kind of free area, an area where you could easily shoot and target the enemy. And these would nowadays be converted to green belts. They would be maybe slightly outlying a bit and not where the medieval city wall would be. But the point still stands. The wall is no longer there. You had space, and that is where the first like official parks would pop up. And the cool thing is, I want to connect this as a kind of green belt, a somewhat wider area right here, connecting to the riverfront, which is located here. Let me see, we finally did unlock pathways. So let's actually do something with them. Let's give them a nice S shape, just something completely not gridded, not straight. And we can even add some more like parks here if we have the money. Now we're getting closer to a balance at like close to 0 and slipping into the minus, because we did unlock significantly more services, and a park like that is very expensive because I went for the large one, right? But what else did we unlock? As far as I know, we got a high school, right? Yes, we did. And there is some demand there already. Now, I would put the high school at maybe like the outer ring road, so somewhere here, because they would have come way later and not have been built in the downtown core. But still like downtown adjacent, just because of the density, you know, that was where most students would live. And one thing that is important to me is we should have unlocked a church, a village church. This is an asset I downloaded from the workshop, and every European city has, or most of them, has a village square and a church right next to it. So let's see where we can actually put that. What if I put it here? Okay, that building would be deleted. Let me see, I can kind of see it being placed here and then having like a park around it, or maybe a large house where the priest would live. We can do some landscaping here as well. Let's remove all of that. I'm going to leave that empty for now and maybe place a larger mansion later on. And let me see, do we have any unlocks of these lovely unique buildings here? Oh, we have a smaller village church. Yeah, if we do like outlying villages instead of a big city or like a small hamlet, then we're going to take the smaller one. Awesome. So one of them from the workshop is considered a unique building. One is a park. That is good to know. But we might later on also add a so-called Rathaus, or like the city council house, which, I mean, they would have had as far back as the Middle Ages for sure. Now, some buildings are upgrading because of all the new services, and that means we're losing a bit of population. And there's some demand for population still going, so let's fill in these zones, shall we? Yeah, these 1x1s, I'm not going to do that. But this is going to look nice and dense. 1x2s, 2x2s. I'm really looking forward to that. For sure. And I'm just going to go over every single square and see if we have any gaps remaining. And I think this will pump our numbers up a bit more. Now, keep in mind, we need 7,000 people to finally unlock the so-called European high-density theme. And with that, we can really go all out. Now, one thing I want to highlight here that is going to be an advantage not only for making nice cities, but also, checking how much money we have and keeping growth in check so as to not overdo it, is go slow. Don't just go absolutely crazy with the zoning tool, because then you will have some dreaded so-called death waves. That is when people move in all at the same time and they will all die at the same time, because that's how the vanilla game just calculates citizen age. So the way we're doing it right now has the advantage of just being, we're spreading everything out, not only zone types, but citizen age as well, service needs. Like, imagine you have a huge grid and put a few hundred houses there, and then suddenly you need a new school, a new fire station, and all that stuff. And that makes it tough to also keep in check your finances. And, in the beginning, that is one of the main issues in the game. At a certain point it will become easy, but now we still have to check our money. And this slow growth helps you manage your finances as well. I did already say that last episode, but I still want to mention it once again because it's really, really important. And we do have enough commercial in here. We have no commercial demand. So right now, I'm throwing mixed-use zoning completely overboard, and I'm just going to fill in everything with some smaller residential. They have small gardens, which is cool for the dense European style we're going for. And let me see, have we unlocked district styles yet? I want to test this out. So we have unlocked this district tool, which will allow us to section of parts of our city and then set the policies per district and save some money. So there's a default style here. I could go, you know what, okay, let's wing it. Let's actually try it. I'm going to select this whole district here and say everything inside of this, I'm going to give it a nice name, is going to be the European Suburbia style. Just for visuals, just so you guys have something nicer to look at. I'm going to link the DLC in the description as well. It's a so-called content creator pack. It's not made by Paradox Interactive and Colossal Order themselves. They do publish it, but it's made by modders. And I think in this case it's made by a modder called Vanya, if I remember correctly. I mean, you will see it in the description. So we're going to call this Old Town, and we're going to set the style to European Suburbia. And honestly, I think this could use like a 3x2 mansion type thing here, as I said earlier, for the village pastor. Yeah, this is going to drain a lot of money because all the houses have to rezone. Oh, dang, this might bankrupt us. So as we can see, some of the buildings are already starting to grow, and tell me these don't look like super European instead of the vanilla ones. These are so pretty. They are great assets, and I think it was the right decision. Maybe not the right time to do it because we had no money and we did it for a huge and massive part of the city. And I literally said 5 minutes earlier, take it slow. Don't overdo it with the zoning and upgrades and whatever. But yeah, this is basically where it's at. This is what we're doing right now. And I'd say this is a great finish for this episode. We have new services on the outskirts of the city. We have a park that will give us some, residential access and recreational riverside access. And we finally finished all of the zoning on the inside right here. And I'm just going to leave this on a time lapse with some nice music. And I'd say thanks for watching episode number 2. You can see the playlist here for the whole series. And on the left, you will see a recommended video. I do other stuff than just this tutorial series. I also do some deep dives into the intricacies of City Skylines, as well as some detailing videos. So if you enjoy these, check them out. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.